Well, I've arrived at Arnhem and the bridge to the future. Although at the time, in 1944, it was a bridge too far. And here is a monument to commemorate the lost lives of that battle. Basically, they were on a hide into nothing. It was a bit like the Barmy Army taking Australia on at Test cricket. It's a shame that humanity still doesn't learn its lessons from war. For me now, I'm going to head down through the country of Holland into Belgium and hopefully onto Luxembourg, where I'll complete this section of Europe. Moving along steadily now. Wonderful scenery here. Very flat route, as you can see. Accommodates thousands of cyclists, but I can enjoy a bit of sunshine now. I've just been at the Arnhem Discovery Centre to learn a little bit more about the Battle of Arnhem, and from here I'm just going to enjoy a leisurely 12-15k hike for the rest of the day. Bit of heavy cloud above. It's certainly been wet the last few hours, but we have a nice view of the river there and Nijmegen, the town ahead there. You just see the church. 2 kilometres of bridge. There's a railway nearby, and quite a bit of industry there in the background. Well, the best thing I can do now is head into town and see if I can find somewhere to stay, because I'm absolutely soaking wet and I really need to get my head down. Just approaching Hagen. A little bit of a problem with Interplot there a few minutes ago. Police didn't like me walking on their highway, which is fair enough. I just couldn't find the cycle route. Back on it again now though, and I've made good ground today. I've actually covered already 25k thanks to an early start, and a dry one at that too, and a lot of help from a very kind gentleman who put me up for the evening. Made my stay a lot more welcoming, and also I was so grateful to get some sleep, having crashed out in the airport the night before. So despite the clouds, all is well so far today. Well, this scene typifies Holland and the culture of the Dutch. Still an important part of Dutch life. Got to be so careful here. Everybody uses these cycle paths. But as you can see, it's a much better day now. I'm going to tick off a few of the towns and villages on the way through to Venlo. Not sure I'll get there today, because if I do, I will have covered over 65 kilometres. Well, I see before me 2 very important aspects of Dutch culture. The bicycle, great form of transport, widely used along these little walkways here. In fact, you've got to be damn careful because motorbikes also use them. And just looking up skywards there, that's a very, very significant trait of the Dutch heritage. Well, after a wet night in the forest, we now have clear blue sky, and it's relatively warm for the time of year. No dew or frost, just lovely countryside, amazing walkways and paths which actually put bums on seats, because this is a country of cyclists, and everywhere you go all these paths are dominated by people going to work or school on their bicycles. Well, I've arrived at the city of Venlo. I'm not sure whether it's a city or a town, but the architecture here is amazing, and as you can see, it requires a spot of maintenance. Generally speaking, a vibrant place full of cafes and restaurants. My main issue is walking through it and locating the next stage of my journey, which could involve possibly a walk along the riverbank to the next few towns that lie ahead. Well, I'm walking through Tellegen now, and once again the architecture is quite sublime. Not quite as exaggerated as in northern France, where it's pretty much Gothic at times, but very eye-catching all the same. Well, 20k into this morning's work, and we have another landmark approaches. This is the town of Reveur. Well, it was a good call to carry on walking last night, as I managed to cross the border into Germany at Heinsberg. It was very dark, and I did the right thing by getting a hotel, having a proper sleep, good breakfast, and some directions out of town along the cycle route, which predominantly flat as it was in Holland, but the difference is I'm not nipple high in Dutch cyclists for a change. You see there some windmills in the distance. So I'm going to head now to the Belgian border. The frontier is about 30 kilometers from here at a place called Aachen. Oh, it's lovely and warm now, and I've done a really good stint this morning. Got myself beyond 30k as I head down towards Aachen, which is probably the biggest city I'll see now until arriving in Luxembourg. But there is a border crossing imminent, or shall I say, in the next 2 hours I should be crossing into Belgium with a bit of luck. Well, that sees out another border crossing. That's 2 in the last 24 hours. On this occasion, I've left Germany behind me to walk into Belgium. This is a nice peaceful evening. I'm enjoying a brisk stroll before dusk. It's quite an occasion really to walk through Germany for the first time. Plenty of architecture to view, more hills too, different to the flat land of Holland, which is very tame really, I suppose, for walking. But then again, it's the cycle route that keeps the country going. Here it's just the road, and I'm going to walk it a bit further yet before I call it a day. Well, it's still early morning, very misty. I camped out in the wilderness last night. I'm just entering Eupen in Belgium. I've been a little bit Forrest Gump the last few days. In fact, since leaving late Tuesday evening to set off from Arnhem, I've walked nearly 200k. So that's not too bad. It's going to be another long day, I'm afraid, as I head off for the border of Luxembourg, which will take me pretty much all day in any case. Well, since leaving Eupen, I haven't seen a damn thing. Just traffic. Been through the Grand Forge. There's quite a bit of nice woodland scenery and some parks and benches to sit on, but I haven't had a drop of water all day. I just can't get anything at all. It seems that nothing really wakes up in Belgium until after 10 o'clock, and I couldn't hang around any longer at the last town, so I'm going to have to carry on walking. I've done about 12k since then, not seen a thing. So I'm going to hopefully get a road change soon and pick up a few of the smaller communities where I'll be able to get at least a drink. Well, apart from a few screwball motorcyclists, this place seems inundated with walkers all of a sudden. You can see we're quite high up here, looking down there on the forest in the distance. It's a little bit cooler up here as well. Plenty of forest around. I noticed we've passed about 2 or 3 restaurants, which is quite novel when I've had to walk 12 miles just to see anything. Another one over there and an information office too. I might just pop over there actually. Maybe see more walkers setting off. All different nationalities come here to walk. Obviously a very, very popular tourist spot. Well, it's nice to see everybody enjoying their leisure time, having a beer or a coffee up on this wonderful part of the country, which happens to be the highest point in Belgium. I knew it was significant from the views that I've seen so far on the steep incline when I set off from Eupen. And it goes without saying, it's very, very popular with cyclists and walkers. Everywhere I go now there's a walker coming by with a stick, backpack, and one gets the sense that it's a great leisure resource. And I'm going to enjoy this for another few miles yet, because I'm not going to hit another town for another 6k. I think that's going to be Robertville, and then it's going to be certainly another dozen k to get to the main town, border town of Luxembourg. So it's going to be a long day. Well, soldiering on, just stopped for a coffee at the Auberge de Lac. Seems to me as though it's pretty much French speaking here, which suits me down to the ground, because everything else is like double Dutch. At least I have a little bit of a concept of French language. I'm going downhill into some wonderful rural countryside now, but I'm still 23 miles from St. Vith, so it's going to be damn hard today. A lot more difficult than I first anticipated. Well, it's all happening here. Weddings and everything by all accounts. Lovely little spot though to visit. Beautiful waterscape. Very interesting part of Belgium this. Well, I'm on the cycle route to St. Vith, which is a bit different to the road. Less hectic, quite a lot of cyclists about, and another 12-14k to do, and still a bit more to reach the border, so I'm not sure I'm going to actually manage that tonight. But it's a lovely sunny evening, beautiful landscape, cooling down a little bit, so I think I'm just going to enjoy this and see where it goes. Well, I've arrived at St. Vith, a little bit more than a usual Saturday night outing. There's rally cars everywhere, so there's obviously a big event on here. Plenty of activity further up the town. I've just got to locate to turn off to Luxembourg. Well, this is the grim reality of camping. Dark at night, trying to pitch a tent in the dark, a soaking wet field. You can see it's very, very misty. But I've got to get myself back onto the road so I can cross this border into Luxembourg. And I'm afraid it's going to be another very long day. Well, I'm heading into Luxembourg now. Not too much to get excited about. Just the usual joyrider idiots. I think Sunday's just for driving full pelt. And I'm afraid it's not been a very good journey so far today, and I've done 20k already. But I'm heading into the very first town in Luxembourg called Wiesmanpach. And I'm using the E421 as my route to Luxembourg City. See the main road there, a bit tame at the moment. This is like a bit more like a cycle route. Beautiful landscape, broken nicely there by the wind belts. You can see out on wind power here. Some nice woodlands there in the distance. Pretty much same sort of landscape as we've had for the last 2 days when I was covering those high points in Belgium. The sun is shining nicely. I've had my lunch and I'm going to walk until dusk. Well, this is me setting off again after another night in the woods. That was my temporary home last night, and now this is going to be a very, very arduous trek into the Luxembourg city centre on this highly dangerous road. I've really got to have my wits about me today. Well, I managed to break away from the highway, thankfully. You can just about hear it in the distance, but for now I'm enjoying the countryside again. Dominated by forest all the way through. Nice peaceful little track here. It's a sealed track, no vehicles allowed, so I haven't even seen a cyclist yet, to be honest. And I'm about 40k from Luxembourg city centre. I'm walking into Ettelbruck now, associated with a bit of war history there. I'm off the main road for a while, thankfully. It's been horrible out there. I have probably 30k left to reach the city centre, because it's quite a long old hack from here. But I think I'll be able to pick up enough back roads, cycle routes to get me there with a bit of luck. Interesting bit of Second World War history here. See that great monument there? That's in memory of General Patton Jr., who led the 3rd US Army. These were the forces that liberated Ettelbruck on the 27th of December 1944 during the Ardennes counter-offensive. You can see there, just beyond this bush, a tank which would have been used in that offensive. All around we have lovely statues and plaques commemorate this occasion, and the thanks that the people of Ettelbruck give to those people, those soldiers that lost their life in this counter-offensive. Well, just walking into Mersch now, and what a manic journey this transpires to be. It's a combination of highway and cycle route when I can lay my hands on it. It's few and far between, so I'm spending a lot of my time on this very busy highway, which seems to interact with the main A road, the motorway, so it's really just a trucker's route, and I'm not having much time to enjoy the scenery. So I think the first thing I can do when I get anywhere near the town is stop and have a coffee. Total bliss at last. Cycle route, can't hear a damn car anywhere, so peaceful and tranquil. What a way to do the last 10k. Quite finished to the tour, another 3k, and that's me out of here. Still enough daylight, as you can see, nice clear sky. That's something to be grateful for. When I finish the tour, I'm hoping we'll raise a bit of money for charity. We have Sue Ryder jars all around the Oundle, Neem Valley region, and also we're supporting Prostate Cancer UK at the Angel Inn Oundle, and Cornwall Hospice Care down in Cornwall at the Coppice Lanna. There are also a few other jars local to the area, so please put your hand in your pocket. Any loose change will be a great help to us all, and all these charities will get some benefit, and hopefully soon we'll be able to present some money within the next month or so after this walk. Meantime, I'm going to head into the centre and I'll close off when I reach there. We're in amongst the city bustle now. Still another 5k to the train station. Just goes on and on this journey. Not to worry though, I'm going to bite the bullet and just kick on. Could do with a pint of beer though. Well, I've reached the train station at Luxembourg. To my left is the train that's going to take me to Metz, and then from there I have to get to Paris. So basically I've walked from one train station in Arnhem to another one here in Luxembourg. But I'm sure Michael Portillo would prefer a different sort of journey to the one I've just completed.